What's up guys, my name is Sheriff and welcome to your 23rd Java tutorial, and in this video we're going to be trying to understand the keyword static. So before anything, let me make the main method. So now, since the beginning of this series, we have always made this main method public static void main. Now I remember telling you guys not to worry about static, but this is the episode where we're going to have to worry about static. So what exactly is a static and what is the importance of static? Well, this is how static works. When you define an object, when you define a method or an instance variable as static, then you do not need to create an object of that class before you can access that method or the instance variable. So now what am I talking about? Let's create a new class and let's call it a class, just for the sake of this example. So now let me create two methods, a static one and a non-static one. So void print method, and inside here inside the non-static method, and let's make a static method also, static void print static. Inside the static method. So now let me go ahead and make an object. Now I just created this class, a class, and I made two methods, a non-static one and a static one, and inside each of them, inside the non-static one, we'll be printing out this, and inside the static one we'll be printing out this. So now we're going to go back into our new class and we'll try to call these two methods, but then take note of how I'm going to call these two methods. So inside the main method, let me call the first non-static method. So as usual, you want to call the method, first is you create an object of that class. So a class object equals new. I know my naming convention is messed up too, but I'm sorry. So to call this method, all we have to do is just to invoke this method on this object. So object dot print method. And where is my autocomplete, please? Now before I can call this static method, now you see the way I call this non-static one, I made an object and I invoked the method on the object. Now to call this static one, all I need to do is just to type the name of the class dot print static. Now I didn't need to create an object to call the static method. Now that's the importance of static. To call a static method or to access a static instance variable, you do not need to create an object of the class before you can access them. You can just access them directly by typing the name of the class and then the name of the method or the instance variable. So let's run this. So you can see inside the non-static method and inside the static method. So there are some restrictions of static variables and methods. The first one is that they can only call other static methods. So let's go ahead and demonstrate this. Now let me create another static method inside here. Okay, then let's if I try to call this print method inside this print static, let's see what we're going to get. Let's see the error, let's see what's going to happen. So let's just try to call it print method. Now let's see what the error message says. It says non-static method, print method cannot be referenced from a static context. So if you wanted to fix this now, all we have to do is just to make this method also static. And you can see the error disappears. Now that is what the first restriction is. They can only call other static methods. That is, a static method cannot call a non-static method. And I don't think a non-static method also can call a static method. Well, never try that. So let's see. So print static. Well, you can. So that's a bonus. Non-static methods can call static methods, but static methods cannot call non-static methods. So now the second restriction, they must only access static data. So now inside this class, let me create two instance variables, int x and static int y. So now inside this static method, let me try to set the value of x equals 10 and y equals 12. Now you see this one gives us an error. Non-static variable x cannot be referenced from a static context. But to fix this, just put the word static. You see how that works now. So non-static, they must only access static data. And the third one is they cannot refer to the this keyword. So now you guys remember the this keyword, how it works. It is to refer to the current object which you are working with, or just refer to the current object. So for example, if this method was to take an integer parameter, let's say int p for parameter, and let's call it x, since it's going to, let's try to make it conflict intentionally. So this is x. So now if we wanted to set this value of x, let me make this static first. So we wanted to set the value of this x here. How do we do that? From this video I said we have to use the this keyword. So what we do is this.x equals to x. Now you see it gives us an error. It says non-static variable this cannot be referenced from a static context. So there's no how you can refer to the this keyword inside a static method. Meanwhile, if we give it here, it's x, we could have said this.x equals to x. You see how that works? So those are the restrictions of static methods and static variables. And quick recap: to call a static method, I think I just did that. Oh, what is happening? Sorry. To call a static method, you do not need to create an object of the class. You could just call it by typing the class name and then calling the method. But then to call a non-static method or to access a non-static variable, all you have to do is to create an object and then to access it. So for example, we wanted to access int x and int y. Let me make x non-static also. So now to access not access. So to access x, all we have to do is use this object. So object.x equals 12. But then we can't do that with the static int y. So to access int y is a class dot y equals 12. Now you see how that works now. So that's going to be it for static videos, static variables and methods. Why am I saying these kind of things? Anyways, that's going to be it for static methods and variables. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys